My name is Tom Curren. I'm the artistic director for the hip-hop companies Rhythmatrix and The Breaks. I wanted to give a little context for the piece you are about to see. Growing up with a philosophy major for a father, I was taught to think in metaphors and always question that which was known as well as that which was not. My dad taught me many ancient parables from great philosophers, with one of my favorites being Plato's The Allegory of the Cave. In this story, Plato explains the nature of intellect, existence, and reality, and I always told my dad that I thought it would make a great stage piece. I had not thought of this parable in years, but when I suddenly lost my father to surgery complications a few months ago, I felt inspired to finally create it. I dedicate this piece to my father, Tom Curren, no longer a shadow. You were my biggest supporter, one of my best friends, and a true inspiration. I love you with all my heart. And now we present The Allegory of the Cave.
Imagine prisoners that have spent their entire lives chained deep inside a cave. They have been chained so that they cannot see behind themselves, and they are forced to stare endlessly at the cave wall in front of them. Behind them, a fire is burning, and between the prisoners and the fire is a walkway. Now imagine that each day, a menagerie of objects crosses the walkway. Their shapes create an intricate shadow play on the wall in front of the prisoners.
We're all just a bunch of people wandering around, looking for a place to fit in. We want our identities to be defined. We search for definition through groups we associate with, cars we drive, things we do, the way we look, often for the approval of others. Never thinking for a second that they are doing the exact same thing to us. We do this because without those things and without the validation of others, we would be alone. And would be forced to define ourselves with nothing to compare to. But if there's nothing to compare to, and no one required for validation, then the question is not, who am I? But really, who do I want to be? It's you defining you. A dancer making the dance look good, not the other way around. And while we are constantly surrounded by other people, the truth is, we are all alone together. defining you. A dancer making the dance look good.
This is the only world that the prisoners have ever known. The shadows and the echoes of unseen objects. Now, imagine that the prisoner is released. After some time adjusting to the blinding light, the freed prisoner will begin to experience the world outside of the cave for the first time.
There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far, over land and sea. A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. And then one day, one magic day, he came my way. And while we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return.
With his new perception of the world, the man will of course want to return to his friends to share his incredible discoveries. But the prisoners cannot recognize their old friend. He appears as all things do. His voice is a distorted echo, and his body is a grotesque shadow.
The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return.
It is the task of the enlightened not only to ascend to learning and to see the good, but to be willing to descend again to those prisoners and to share their troubles and their honors. Wouldn't they all laugh at him and say he had spoiled his eyesight by going up there, and that it was better not to even think of ascending? And if anyone tried to release another and lead him up to the light, let them only catch the offender.
everybody in? Is everybody in? Wake up! Night divides the day, you know the day. We'll move to the other side.
Some will not understand his fantastic stories of the world outside of the cave. To them, it will never exist. This, of course, does not make the world outside of the cave any less real.